All right, apiary.org, what is up? I am Matt Freed, and we are here on Wednesday night, the eve before Sketchfest NYC 2010, and sitting next to me is the one, the only, the esteemed. You may have seen him on Carnival Cruises. You may have seen him on 30 Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting next to Sidecar's Matt Fisher. Matt, thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you for saying and knowing about so many things that I've done.
I do the best that I can. Well, by the best that I can, I mean I stay up at night and I just study your IMDb page.
It works for me. I'm very pleased to be here.
No problem. I'm excited to have you here. Some people will call what I do stalking. I call it just being a fan. Like on Facebook. Like! Anyway. So, Matt, you are performing with Sidecar. Sidecar is making its third appearance in Sketchfest at this point?
Second that I'm aware of.
Okay, cool, great. I remember seeing your sets last year. It was great. It was hilarious. What can we expect for the set this upcoming year?
Well, it's very different in flavor. The set that we did last year was sort of a collection of our favorite sketches that we had performed up till then, and since then we've been performing a new show with a very different feel, and so this set will reflect a whole new direction in Sidecar.
Cool. Oh, very cool. That actually does bring up something that I did want to ask you about, because Sidecar, you guys have kind of been like perennial favorites around the New York City sketch comedy community, so to speak. You guys have always been around, but it seemed like that from last year's appearance on Sketchfest, you guys kind of had a really big breakthrough year. You had Gentrified Brooklyn, which is your comedy show that you do every Friday in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Lyceum. And then also you had a pilot, Homeschooled, which got into the New York TV Festival this year, has earned you quite a bit of fame, and is airing on cable TV this year, too.
Love it. Kid.
I do the best I can. Take an interview with me! So the question is that I want to ask is what fueled all this? What made you guys sit down and say, like, let's take this to the next level?
I don't know. I mean, I think that we started out improvising, and then I wouldn't say that we're easily bored, but we will like to put our fingers into as many pies as possible. We love performing, certainly, but any avenue that's open to us, I think we probably want to try and see what happens. And we've met with a lot of success in Brooklyn, and strangely, Homeschooled all came together and was very awesome, which is why we've done another one. We're finished editing a pilot that we're going to take to the festivals this summer, and I don't know. I think that we just like to stay busy. We're workaholics.
Are you guys is it a sequel, a spin-off?
It's completely unrelated. It's a new concept. It's called Illuminati Brothers. It's about two dopey brothers who, through a series of events, become the leaders of the Illuminati, the secret cabal that runs the world.
Interesting. Is there any possible interest in a network deal right now or anything?
I mean, certainly we're thinking that it would air simultaneously on all networks. That's our current plan for it. If that may get shaved down to all networks but one or two, and that would be a disappointment, but not a huge one.
If there was one word I could use to describe your group's ambition, it would be humble. Do you mind talking about your process really quick?
No, please.
So when you guys do sit down to write a sketch, is it, because you mentioned that you all improvise, does it start as like you're just improvising together and you're recording it and it becomes a sketch? Do you guys maybe come to a writers meeting like, hey, I have this really crazy idea, and then you improvise it? Is there like one unified way that Sidecar approaches doing its comedy?
There is. When we improvise, we almost never improvise for the sole purpose of writing. We basically only do like performance-oriented improv. Although,
oh, look at this! Alden Ford! Alden Ford, come right on in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited to have Alden Ford with us as well.
Yeah.
You can kind of barely tell, but it's raining outside, and Alden's is a very clear indication of that. Sorry, they just brought up the volume, so I'm just trying to keep track with all of it. So Matt, just really quick, you were talking about the process that Sidecar goes into.
So right, although we do love to improvise, we rarely do it to write. What we will do sometimes is hold on to the concepts from performance improv that we do and sort of develop those. But most of the writing we do is concepts that we work up together through conversation and being together and hanging out. The sort of irritating bits that I'm sure you hate to see comedians do in your presence, we spin those into comedy gold.
So Alden, just one quick question. We were talking about the real like kind of breakthrough year that Sidecar is having, the way that you guys approach doing comedy. What are your feelings on it? How has it been? Has it been helping you out at all in your career? Because I know that you also do headshot photography as well for a lot of comedians. Does it increase the connections, anything like that?
A little bit. I mean, you know, it's nice to be able to do both things and meet a lot of people doing that. But yeah, I mean, it has been a really good year for Sidecar, I think, and it's nice because, you know, when you're a comedian, you never really know what forward motion really looks like. You know, you never really know where you're supposed to be at any given time. But it's nice to feel like that we are moving forward a little bit, and wherever that's going to lead, we don't really know. But it's nice to feel like we're making some progress. So yeah, it feels good. I feel like most of my professional momentum is with Sidecar, so I'm glad to have that. The stuff that I do, I wouldn't say that my solo professional career has been greatly affected by my Sidecar connections, because my solo professional career doesn't really exist. But we're working on it. We're working on it. Fortunately, I have two pairs of awesome coattails to hold on to the whole way.
There you go.
May I ask, Matt earlier asked me a question I feel like I answered very poorly, where he was talking about how we've gone from doing sort of just sketch to being involved in kind of Gentrified Brooklyn and the pilots we've shot and stuff like that. Why do we do that? Like, why don't we just do sketch? Like, why are we doing that all of a sudden now? I said we're workaholics, which I think is a lie. Like, I wouldn't stand by that if you asked me a follow-up question. So I'm wondering what Alden would say about that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's a very good question too. They're very. I guess there's a lot of good arguments to be made to just writing sketch comedy and doing it, and not having 17 other things that we're working on. I don't know. I think workaholics is part of it. I also feel like it's nice to have stuff that we. I feel like we can do. Gentrify is great because it's improv and it's always, you know, every week it's different, and it begins and ends on Friday night, and that's it, you know. But it's nice to have stuff that's like, we've been working on stuff that we've been writing for 6 months now, you know, and it's nice to always have that sitting that we can always chip away at. I don't know. Is that a better? I don't think that's a better answer.
I think it sounds great, one way or the other. Well, ladies and gentlemen, reading the apiary, excited for your first night at Sketchfest. These are the two gentlemen, with a third gentleman who's absent at the moment, that you want to catch on Thursday evening. The group's name is Sidecar. You guys are on at 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Thursday.
8 o'clock on Thursday at the UCB. Matt, did you have one last thing you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say that the gentleman in question, his name is Justin Tyler, and he's a treasure, a complete prize.
He's a whole person.
He's a great member of Sidecar.
An excellent absent member of Sidecar. So, ladies and gentlemen, the name is Sidecar. The time, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Sketchfest NYC at the UCB. Matt, Alden, thank you so much, guys. Cool.